Everyone is wrong about space tourism. Really, really wrong.
What are you talking about?
Hear me out. I'm on a family trip right now, which got me thinking about something I kinda brushed on in my previous video. Space travel. It's one of those things that sounds amazing, right up until you actually have to do it. You may be excited that space tourism might become a thing during our lifetime. Maybe you imagine yourself walking onto the Enterprise, sitting on a comfortable chair that looks like a lazy boy had a baby with a PlayStation 5, and you're looking out of a giant window at the vast majesty of space. But if history has taught us anything, the future isn't built by science fiction authors, it's built by sociopathic CEOs who only think about that thing inside your pants, your wallet. Because if airlines are involved, I think you're in for a nasty surprise.
Welcome aboard Easy Star Flight 8901 to Proxima Centauri. The flight duration is approximately 94 years. Life support is not included in economy tickets.
I can't breathe.
A 2-hour economy flight within your continent is enough to make most people think both the Wright brothers and Santos Dumont should have been burned at the stake before they ever got off the ground. You're packed into a metal tube with 200 smelly strangers. Your seat reclines exactly 1 centimeter while somehow the seat in front of you reclines straight into your spleen. You're in the middle seat with a bodybuilder to your left and a colic baby to your right. The airlines look at us every year and decide that a human could probably be folded just a little bit more. A space airline would absolutely store people like AAA batteries. Now, before we get to warp drives and hyperdrives and all the cool science fiction stuff, let's talk about what we could do without massive leaps in technology. Because unfortunately, physics is a bit of a party pooper, and right now, even getting to Mars takes months. If you're a scientist and you have work to do the whole way, great. Finally, no one will interrupt your hyperfocus. But if you're a tourist, it's just you, your thoughts, a tiny little travel pod, and a podcast. You downloaded 4 episodes of a podcast at the spaceport waiting for takeoff because of course you didn't think of the whole thing until you were already on the plane. 6 months in and now you fully accepted Joe Rogan as your Lord and Savior. That can't be good. And that's just Mars. Now imagine that the flight is to another star system and it takes like 96 years or something, and then you, or well, your grandkid gets there and the shuttle touches the ground and the group of 20 German pensioners start applauding, and of course it's raining liquid iron for the whole 2 weeks. Interstellar travel gets pretty weird. Let's say humanity gets really good at building spaceships. Not even faster than light, but like pretty close. Now Einstein shows up and starts causing problems. Always with that fucking guy. Because when you travel near the speed of light, time slows down for you. The trip might feel like only a few years to you, but decades or centuries pass back on Earth. You take the greatest holiday in human history, and then you come home like 10 years later excited to tell everyone about how it was a life-changing experience and you changed your name to blue. But everyone you know is dead. Your job is gone, your skills are all obsolete, and you don't understand a word young people are saying. The only upside is that your bank finally processed your customer service request while you were gone. The downside is that every invoice has been racking late fees for 200 years. But let's say we solve that too. Maybe we invent faster than light travel. We have absolutely no idea how to do that, and it may be completely impossible. But so was watching a video on a phone when I was in high school, so let's assume we figure it out. At that point, a lot of the physics and the time problems disappear and the real problems begin. Because now interstellar travel has mass appeal and budget airlines get involved. Because let's not forget, early air travel was nice. Even when I was a kid, in the 80s, every flight had meals and free drinks. Of course, the back of the plane was smoking, and not in like a modern Boeing 737 way. I mean, there were people smoking cigarettes, which you may think of as a downside or an upside, depending on your addictions. But either way, at least the smoke really helped mask all the farts. But I think that was actually when it happened, when they had to ban smoking. But the smokers still kept traveling. That's when the airlines really realized that they can take away as many human rights as they want from everyone, but will keep coming. You think it's bad now? Imagine Ryan Space or Spirit Space Lines if you're American.
Is their slight against our people.
Your ticket to Alpha Centauri costs 49, bringing luggage costs 600,000, and that's for carry-on. Your ticket includes 30 minutes of life support. Additional breathing packages can be purchased through the app, which they make you download. And the app doesn't really even work for that, but it does mine your personal data and for crypto. You're traveling through the greatest frontier in human history, but windows are heavier than aluminum, so that was the first thing they eliminated. So the only view outside you get is that small screen that freezes every time the pilot makes an announcement. And of course, the pilot thinks he's the most interesting person of the world. And obviously there's ads.
This view of Saturn is brought to you by Raid, Shadow Legends.
And no, you're not getting a tin box of disgusting microwave chicken that is somehow both dry and wet. That'd be too luxurious. You're spending years eating nutritionally, maybe optimized beige. And for only $36.95 per tube, you can upgrade to a premium economy paste with some flavor. By the way, it's actually more expensive for them to remove all the flavor from the basic economy paste, but many enough will upgrade for it to be profitable to make the cheaper experience worse on purpose. Toilets on airplanes are tiny, but at least your pee knows which way is down. In space, toilets are a genuine engineering challenge because gravity isn't helping anymore. Everything has to be managed with fans and suction and engineering solutions that sound like they were invented when the countdown had already started. How well do you think Boeing is going to manage all that when they can't even get the doors to stay on? You'll probably have to go into a semi-enclosed cupboard, stick your private bits into the same suction cup that the drunk guy from the bachelor party already used, and just pray they used the wipes.
They probably did it because the wipes cost extra.
Despite all of this, I think people would still go. Tolerating absurd journeys is what we do. That's how we found new places and new ways to get to places. Not you, Columbus. Even if the journey takes 8 months and a soggy sandwich costs $147. Sometimes the destination is worth it. Or at least there was a preppy couple on YouTube who said it was. Every summer, millions of us willingly squeeze ourselves into flying spam tins just to spend a week somewhere where we can complain about the heat instead of the rain. And then you arrive somewhere new and suddenly the misery becomes a part of the story that you can't wait to tell all your friends back home, if they're still alive. Maybe one day Mars will be like Alicante for us. Maybe Proxima Centauri b will be like Australia, mostly because everything there is trying to kill you, but still. Maybe we finally get rid of capitalism and the future is a little more Star Trek and a little less Air Baltic. I don't know if we'll ever develop a warp drive or faster than light travel, but you never know. Maybe liking this video and subscribing might help. I think it's worth a try. As always, a link to my stand-up special in the description. Pick it up for just €5 or whatever that is in your currency. It's quite good and many people have liked watching it. I'm so happy with the response I got for the previous video about the Fermi paradox. Everyone told me YouTube comments are just vile and awful, but you guys have absolutely restored my faith in humanity. Well, almost all of you. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.
Sorry sir, boarding is finished.
Hey, wait.